You know Portland as the City of Roses, right? Well, for the kindred, the vampires lurking in its shadows, it's more like a city of thorns. Opportunity and danger, they're all tangled up together. And after a massive earthquake just shattered the city, there's this huge power vacuum. So the Camarilla, the bigwigs of vampire society, they've decided a new crew, a coterie of total strangers, is going to step in and take charge.
So in this explainer, we are cracking open the dossier on this very unlikely alliance. We're going to meet the scholar who's hunting for ghosts, the enforcer who's building a mortal army from scratch, the artist who's about to get his shot at global fame, and the investigator who might be the one holding it all together or the one who's about to watch it all shatter into a million pieces.
And look, make no mistake, this isn't just about grabbing power. For these five, every single night is a fight for survival. Sure, each one has their own private agenda, but they're all stuck on the same battlefield, the broken, chaotic streets of Portland. So, who are these people, really? They've been thrown together by a decree from on high, a classic Camarilla power play to force some order. But under that official team banner, all their personal ambitions are just bubbling away, creating this constant, dangerous friction. Let's meet the players, shall we?
All right, first on our list is the brains and, the spooky magic of the operation, Joshua. This is the guy who traffics in secrets, in blood, and in all the weird occult stuff that's hiding just under the city's skin. Joshua's a Tremere, which means he is an absolute master of blood sorcery, a seriously potent and frankly dangerous tool. His ambition isn't just about getting more power for himself. No, he is laser-focused on one thing: destroying the Sabbat. The vampire boogeymen, the agents of chaos. This singular focus makes him incredibly driven and, honestly, a little bit terrifying. Right now, he's completely obsessed with finding the city's old prince, a guy named Cayenne. He's convinced Cayenne is the key to crippling the Sabbat in this whole region, and he will pay any price and perform any ritual to find him. Which, of course, brings us to his latest little project. Now, this isn't just some simple hocus-pocus. This ritual is dark, it's specific, and it requires some unique ingredients. He needed a picture of the prince, check, they got that from an old portrait. But the tricky part, he needed a vessel, that is blood from a mortal who was high on very specific drugs. He couldn't exactly go score that himself, so he had to lean on his coterie. It just goes to show you, even a powerhouse sorcerer can't do it all alone. His arcane work needs a stable foundation, which is a huge problem when other parts of that foundation are starting to crack. So, while Joshua is buried in his library with spooky rituals, another member of the coterie is building power on the streets. Let's switch gears and talk about the muscle of the group, Tucker, better known as the Undertaker. He's all about the mortal world, building his army one brick and one broken bone at a time. Tucker's a gang roll, so think primal, think direct. He doesn't do subtlety. His desire is as straightforward as it gets. He wants to start a new gang. He's not messing around with politics. He's a blunt instrument, and he plans to use that instrument to carve out his own chunk of Portland. His protean discipline, that's what lets him tap into that raw animal power. And his game plan? It's classic, it's straight out of the Thug playbook, and man, is it effective. He's setting up shop in a biker bar he just acquired called The Last Rite. And this isn't just a place to grab a drink. It's his recruitment center, his base of operations, the very heart of his growing mortal empire. But hey, even a blunt instrument needs a sharp mind with a fat wallet. He's cut a deal with Stefan, the coterie's money guy. Stefan puts up the cash for the bar, and in return, Tucker uses his muscle to get his hooks into the local dock workers and some notorious guys called the Felony Flatchtrot Brothers. It's a perfect, if pretty tense, partnership between brains and brawn. Okay, now for the face of the operation, Zane. He's the charismatic DJ who gets that real power isn't about muscle, it's about influence and adoration. He's the artist, the party animal, and, let's be real, a budding cult leader. Being a toreador, Zane is all about art, beauty, and sensation. And his big ambition, it's not just to be famous. He wants to create a Nephilim temple, basically a cult built around beauty, art, and of course, himself. He uses his discipline, presence, to just mesmerize people, drawing in both mortals and other kindred with his killer music and magnetic personality. But don't you dare mistake all that charm for softness. He actually quoted Machiavelli to his coterie mate Matt, and it's chilling. It reveals this ice-cold, pragmatic philosophy under the surface. For Zane, love comes and goes, but fear,
Oh, fear is forever. That's the cold engine driving his whole artistic career, and it tells you everything about how he sees his allies as assets to be managed. And speaking of his career, it's about to hit warp speed. See, Zayn's been trying to get a tour going, hitting nothing but roadblocks, feeling like he's totally stalled out. Then, late one night, when he's just about to give up, his phone rings. And who's on the other end of the line? Just, the massive multinational pop star, Keisha. We are not talking about some local celebrity. This woman is a global phenomenon. And it turns out she's a huge fan of his music. So she makes him an offer that could change his entire unlife. She wants him to be her opening act on her next tour. You know all those doors that were just slammed in his face? Yeah, they just got blown completely off their hinges. This is it. This is the big one. A global tour would give him access to followers, to influence on a scale he's only ever dreamed of. That Nephilim temple of his could go international. But here's the thing, right? That kind of theme puts a massive spotlight on you. And spotlights are kind of bad for vampires. Not to mention, it's a huge complication for a group trying to stay in the shadows. Okay, so while Zayn is rocketing to the top of the world, another member of the coterie is, well, he's falling apart. We have to turn now to Matt, the group's paranormal investigator, and its deeply, deeply troubled soul. Those are Matt's own words, what he told Zayn. And wow, they paint a pretty harrowing picture of where his head is at. He can literally feel himself cracking, breaking under this immense pressure that nobody else can even see, and he's losing the fight to hold himself together. So what's going on here? Well, it's baked right into his blood. He's a Malkavian, and that comes with a clan bane called fractured perspective. Think of it like a permanent psychic wound that leaves him wide open to visions, to delusions, and to seeing truths that can just shatter a person's mind. And just recently, that wound got torn wide open. During a vision, he saw a ghost of his own sire, Lovejoy. He was shown this bizarre, glowing blue line and was left with these cryptic messages that have left him completely adrift. Now think about it. An unstable seer is a massive threat to Joshua's precise rituals and Tucker's low-key street operations. He is fast becoming a liability they just can't afford. And that right there is the central question, isn't it? You've got a sorcerer who needs stability, an enforcer who's building a fragile empire, and a rising star whose fame could expose them all. And right in the middle of it all, you have a seer who is seeing way too much and is losing his mind. So, what do you think? Can this alliance of strangers possibly hold it together? Or are their own ambitions the very fuse that's going to blow their entire world apart?